Hey class, we're going to go ahead and get into part 3 of proportions. Part 1 was about defining what a proportion was. Part 2 was about solving a proportion. Now part 3 we're actually going to go ahead and get into a word problem that we've done before using ratios, but we're going to use proportions this time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way, and we're going to go ahead and start on our example. Right, let's go ahead and write example. And remember, we're still in proportions. We are still in proportions. Okay, we're still there. All right, because again, we moved out of ratios, rates, and unit rates, and now we're in proportions. Okay, remember, a proportion is when two ratios are equal to each other, right? Or two relationships are the same, or two fractions are equal to each other. All right, so here we go. So at Books Unlimited, okay, at Books Unlimited, 3 paperback, right? Paperback means it's not hardcover. Paperback books, 3 paperback books cost $18. How much would 7 books cost? Question mark. Okay, make sure you have this written down. We're going to work this problem out a different way than we did before. Now, real quick, I'm going to pause the video real quick. Go back and look at what the answer was. I want you to have the answer with you so you can see, or you can even look at how we worked the problem previously, right? So go ahead and do that real quick. When you're done writing this down, right? That's what I meant to say. When you're done writing this down, go ahead and go look at what we got, right? It wasn't that far ago, like the previous pages before. What did we get? What was it? Let's type it in the chat. We got 42, right? We got 42. $42, right? 7 books cost $42. We know that, right? That's what we got. So again, let's go ahead and read it, because we're still going to use cubes like we did before, because we don't want to get out of the habit of using cubes. Cubes is our word problem strategy, right? So we got to read before we do cubes. Remember, cubes is circle the important numbers, underline the question, box keywords, eliminate unimportant information, and solve, right? And so we're going to go ahead and read this. At Books Unlimited, 3 paperback books cost $18. How much would 7 books cost? Okay, and again, this is assuming that all the books cost the same, right? So, again, looking at this, we can see that, actually, just use another color. We can see that all of our numbers are important, so we're going to circle our important numbers, which is 3, 18, and 7. U stands for underline the question. Let's do that. How much would 7 books cost? Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out. Now, boxing keywords, right? Keywords are like each and all together and total and difference and these types of things. We don't have really any of those here, right? We just have a pattern and we have a proportion, right, that we need to come up with. Okay, so make sure you have this written down. I'm going to move this paper up here in a second, where you might not be able to see the very, very top. But again, we're going to go ahead and solve this using the ideas of a proportion. Okay? All right. All right, here we go. So the way we're going to start this, let me move it just a little bit up. The way we're going to start this problem is we're actually going to create a ratio in words. Okay, and I know I said we're going to use proportions. We are, but before we can use a proportion, we have to come up with the ratio. So here we go. So our ratio in words. Okay, you'll see what I mean by that right now. So we got to come up with the two things that are being compared, right, in this problem. What two things are being compared? What relationship of two things do you see? The two things are cost and books. Okay, so this is the ratio in words right here. Cost to books. That is our ratio in words. Okay. Okay, that's our ratio in words. Costs to books. And then we can even rewrite that. Instead of using the 2, what symbol can we put there instead? What symbol can we put there? The colon, right? The 2 dots, right? So we're going to do that. So we're going to put cost, colon, books. Same thing. Cost to books, cost per books, cost, colon, books. Same thing. Okay? Now, we created our ratio in words. Now, we're even going to rewrite it again, but this time as a fraction. Okay, so here we go. You can actually rewrite this as, remember, the left object or the left topic goes in the numerator. There's our fraction line. The left word goes in the numerator. That's cost. And the right one goes in the denominator, books. Okay, so there is our ratio in words. Now, after we create our ratio in words, we have to create our proportion in words. And all you have to do for that, let me raise this up a little bit more. Now, all you have to do for that is copy and paste it on both sides of the equal sign. Okay? So here's our proportion in words. Okay, here's our proportion in words. All you have to do is copy and paste cost over books. Let me actually do in green. Cost over books equals cost over books. Because we're dealing with the same relationship in this problem. We're dealing with the same relationship in this problem, but we're using different numbers that were given in the problem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and so again, we have to use what we know to figure out what we don't know. And so we have to go back to the word problem real quick. So let's go back to the word problem and see what we know. What do we know from the word problem? So let's read it one more time. So it says, at Books Unlimited, 3 paperback books cost $18. At Books Unlimited, 3 paperback books cost $18. So we know that 3 books cost $18. That is what we know. And so in the question's asking us how much would 7 books cost? So what is the question asking? Is it asking for books or is it asking for a cost? What is it asking for? How much would 7 books cost? What is it asking for? And that's what we can box this for cubes. Cost. It's asking for the cost. And since it's asking for the cost, that's what we know we're looking for. So let's use the first thing they gave us. They gave us at Books Unlimited 3 paperback books cost $18. So let's use that first in our proportion. So in our proportion, go ahead and found this. So in our proportion in green right here, they gave us that 3 books cost $18. So we know right here, we can substitute things in. Let's do that. So again, I'm drawing my fractions. And we can use red. So how many books did they give us at very first thing? How many books did they give us? 3, right? And 3 books, right? We put in place of books. 3 books cost how much? $18. So you see how we set up our left side of our proportion already based on information that they gave us. They gave us that 3 books cost $18, right? That's what they gave us. Now we have to answer the question. The question was, how much would 7 books cost, right? So what information do we know there in the question? We know that 7 books. That's what we know. We know 7 books, but we don't know the what? The cost. We don't know the cost. So when we're looking right here on this right side of the proportion, we don't know the cost, but we do know the books. How many books did they give us in our question? How many books? How many books did they give us? 7, right? They gave us 7. And so the question is asking for what? What is the question asking for? How much would 7 books cost? We don't know the cost. So we're going to go ahead and put an X there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put an X there. Now, we're going to go ahead and solve this proportion. Solve this proportion. Remember, we cross multiply. 3 times x, we get, I'm going to write this work over here. 3x. 18 times 7, we're going to do that right here. We can do it over here to the side. 18 times 7. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry my 5. 1 times 7, 7 plus 5, that's 12. We got 126. So 3x equals 126. Okay, now what's happening between the 3 and the x? Multiplication is happening right here between the 3 and the x. What's the opposite of multiplication? Opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. Right, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And so 3 divided by 3, we're going to get 1. 1 times x, we get x. Equal sign comes down. And now all we got to do is figure out what 126 divided by 3 is. We're going to do that over here. So remember, 126 is getting rained on. Where does it want to go? Inside, right? So we're going to do that right here. So 126, right? 126 goes in and 3 on the out. 3 into 12, 4 times. 3 times 4, we get 12. 12 minus 12, we get 0. Bring down the 6. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 6, we get 0. So what did we get? We got 42. X equals 42. And remember, to make sense of it, dollars. Okay? So remember, when we use ratios, we also got what? 42. Okay? So again, that's how we go through the process of solving a problem dealing with proportional reasoning. And so again, we got the same thing we did when we use ratios. All right, thanks for watching.